Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. This is Magnet Ball Podcast here. I'm with Jane Sheffy and Makai Slaughter. We're back with more college football content. We are going to recap Miami going to Florida State and winning. And then we'll also talk about... Sorry, we switched the Vandy Bama game. My bad, guys. Can we switch it to?
Texas game.
Yeah.
And we added Penn State.
And Penn State. Yeah, Penn State.
Yeah. Jeez.
That's all good. Also, how is Florida State still ranked?
I was wondering.
That is nuts. Probably the AP voters just saw the score and didn't watch the game. Like, oh, they only lost by 6. The game wasn't even close.
It was 29. All right, let's try this again. All right, welcome back to another episode of the podcast, Magnet Ball Podcast here. This is another week of college football. I'm here with Jane Sheffy and Makai Slaughter, and we're going to recap Miami going to Florida State and winning 28-22, and then we'll also talk about Texas losing at Florida 29-21, and then finally the biggest upset of the weekend, Penn State going to UCLA, who had 0 wins on the season and all their coaches fired, and somehow finding a way to stink it up and lose. They lost 42-37. Makai, let's hear it. Miami at Florida State, your thoughts?
Yeah, Miami versus Florida State. Miami went out and just took control of this game early on. They were just dominant on both sides of the ball, especially up front. Castellano seemed like he couldn't get anything going. Carson Beck, man, I'm just really proud of what I've seen from him this year, especially the way he's bounced back from last year, and kind of like I kind of expected to coming into this season, him having better offensive weaponry around him. Carson Beck, 20-27, 241, 4 touchdowns, no picks. Just overall great performance from him. And man, Malachi Tony is a dude. He's a dude. Definitely one of the best freshmen in the country right now. But the score is not reflective of how dominant that game was overall. Florida State scored a couple touchdowns at the end just to kind of make it look closer than what it actually was. But completely a great overall performance from Miami. And I'm gonna be honest, like I would not be mad if somebody thinks Miami's the best team in the country, because they've definitely had the schedule to back it up. They've been dominant to back it up as well. Yeah, this Miami team is really, really, really good, and just also gives props to how good Notre Dame is as well to compete with this team. So good overall performance from the Hurricanes.
Yeah, I'd echo that for sure. Beck has been phenomenal. I think it's really encouraging to see his play after a down year last year at Georgia. But man, what a difference in receivers he has this year, because last year he did not have that at Georgia. And it makes QB's life a lot easier, for sure. The only thing I like to say about Miami is something I'd like to see a little bit more in the next couple of weeks, especially when they are playing good opponents. I'd just like to see them have a little bit more of a run game. I'm kind of being a little nitpicky, but you just can't, in big games, it's not going to cut it, having 40 yards on the ground from your RB1. He only had 12 carries as well. Thankfully, Beck had a very efficient day, but you're going to have a balanced attack from the offensive standpoint in those bigger games down the road here. But overall, great win for Miami. On the road in a hostile environment, it's not easy to play at Florida State. I think Florida State might have had a different result, and if Castellanos wouldn't have had 2 turnovers, but he ended up throwing 2 picks. Overall, great Miami win. Becks looked great. and they look very, very good in the trenches as well.
Yeah, Beck has a much better supporting cast than last year. I wouldn't even say last year was a down year for him. He had drive killers all around him. Georgia had the highest drop rate for wide receivers last year, and you drop a ball on third down, you got a punt, like that kills the drive. So Beck's playing efficient. Like Jaden said, it comes down to turnovers. Castellano had those 2 picks. Beck with no interceptions, and he just controlled the game. And it's pretty fun when you can go into a hostile environment and score touchdowns in the fashion they did, and then they're singing the Florida State war chant into the cameras. So great win for Miami. They've had a tough schedule, and I agree with Makai. Like if it wasn't for Ohio State's dominant defense, this team would be number one thanks to the resume. So yeah, we'll keep it moving on. Next, we got Texas at Florida State, or Florida, my bad. Florida won against Texas 29-21, and Arch Manning just couldn't get it done on that final drive. Makai, let's hear your thoughts on a once highly ranked Texas team.
Yeah. Florida. I gotta give. I'll start with the good first. Florida, way to bounce back. I mean, this season looked dead, honestly. DJ Lagway, he looked amazing, man. Like I mean, he was spinning it. Especially he was on one leg. It was clear and apparent he was hobbled all game. Couldn't really move. They kept everything within the pocket, and the line for Florida definitely held up and did a good job blocking the Texas pass rush. We thought was very good. Um, it was good to see how well Florida looked on offense and defense. They just looked better than Texas in all aspects, especially up front. That was really good to see from Florida, and some promises, moving forward. And who knows, they could make a run. Their schedule is very difficult for them to do it, but with the way they looked and they look like this, then yeah, then maybe they can. Now with Texas, what in the hell are we doing over there? Offense and defense, it was just awful, just awful all around. You can't let a team that's averaging 11 points against FBS teams to put up 29 on you. That's unacceptable when we consider you one of the best defenses in the country. Arch Manning, he's just awful. He's just awful. He's awful. His line doesn't do him any favors, but he's just awful. He's missing easy throws over the middle, easy throws outside the boundaries, clear pocket, pressure in his face. He's just missing throws. He just looks like DEI Manning out there, man. It's bad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. They have no run game. They have no pride. Sark, we just gotta figure it out, man. Yeah, I mean, you got the Red River matchup coming up, and if you think Florida's defense is hell, well, I got a story for you. Brett Venables is just as worse, if not even worse. So if they don't figure it out, it can get ugly in the Red River matchup. But Texas, we got to figure it out, and we got to figure it out fast. I mean, this is a team that was ranked number one in the nation, and they just look terrible on all aspects. But yeah,
You funny, man. You funny. uh, I mean, I'll just go back to, I wouldn't say what I've got criticized for, but I said in week one that Arch Manning wasn't legit. I've said that over and over after I saw that game against Ohio State. And yeah, it's week one, they're playing in the shoe, but I just could see like the confidence wasn't there, knowing the expectations coming into off season, not only from the media, but also from internally from Texas as well. But if you watch the tape, it's bad. It's really bad. He's missing reads. He's seeing ghosts out there. That last drive was absolutely awful. Like I would expect that from someone that's maybe played quarterback for a few years, but the time management was just terrible. The backup came in and threw an 18-yard dig across the middle. And I was like, hey, might as well run with him for the last drive. That Arch had to come out after I think his helmet got taken off. But this was a disaster of a game for Texas to lose like this on the road. You're a top 10 team. You lose like this, now you're completely out of the rankings. Um, I, I don't see this team recovering. They're going to get smacked by Oklahoma. Um, it just doesn't look good. just throw out some numbers. Arch 16 to 29, 263, 2 tuds, 2 picks. It just cannot happen. Arch was your leading rusher with 37 yards. Wisner had 11 yards on the ground. Like, it's a mess over there right now. So I'm not really sure what this team can do to recover. I don't see that happening. But shout out to Florida for a great game. And DJ played really well. We were giving him flack last week for coming in for probably having a bad performance, but he actually balled out. He had 1 pick, but 21 and 28, 298 in the air, 2 tuds. Their leading rusher had 107 on the ground against that Texas front seven. So Texas is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I'm gonna start by giving kudos to this Florida team. They've been getting bashed, and like rightfully so. They've been losing games that they should have won, but especially DJ Lagway, like having a 5 pick performance and then coming against a good Texas defense. Don't get me wrong, this defense is pretty good. They held Ohio State to 14 points in week 1. But it comes down to complimentary football. Arch with 2 interceptions, and on top of that, 6 sacks he took. They can't run the football. Besides Arch, the running backs and receivers ran for 15 yards on 10 carries. Like that's atrocious. And then Arch had 15 rushes for 37 yards. Like, why is he running the ball 15 times? I got to put this on Sark. And another thing I just noticed, he ran the ball 15 times for 37 yards and had a long rush of 36. So you take away that one rush, he had 14 attacks for 1 yard. This is coaching, and it's just bad play by the offense. Arch has chatter feet in the pocket. He either gets through his reads too fast and misses them, or he's too slow. Like there's rarely a time where he's in sync and is consistent. And Texas just got to figure it out. They're playing against Oklahoma, like Jaden alluded to, and that defense is scary. They throw a lot of different looks, they blitz, and they hit a lot harder than Florida. So they got their work cut out for them. If they want to save their season somehow, they have to beat Oklahoma. But I don't think they can even do it if John Mateer is on the sidelines. Like it's that bad. I don't see how this is fixable in a week. So it's unfortunate. Everyone had Texas with high regards coming into this season, but they've just folded as a collective. And I thought the Texas defense was better than this, especially after DJ Lagway's rough start to the season. But they made him look good. They made the running back look good. Averaged 4 yards a carry, 107 on the ground. And then their backup running back averaged 4.2. So.
And I'd even take it a step further, Dylan.
Yeah.
I'd even take it a step further. If it wasn't the name Arch Manning, the backup would be in for this next game.
It's a whole lot of nepotism.
Come on. Yeah, it looks bad. It looks bad. Like it's bad. He's just seeing stars. And I will say this, just to give him a little grace. The offensive line has been awful. Awful.
Yeah.
They were awful against Florida. Like, I mean, I can't blame for Arch Manning having shattered feet in the pocket if I'm playing with that O-line. Like he's scared.
Well,
He's scared.
the O-line is bad, sure, but he's had chatter feet in every game, except for maybe that one game they played against some trash school. Like the only game he's looked comfortable was against Sam Houston. And no, I'd say Sam Houston. Even San Jose State, he was a bit iffy. But yeah, no, they got to figure it out. That O-line's terrible. The running backs, like Wisner was supposed to be disgusting.
Bro, they can't block up front. There's no holes to run through. He gets there, it's a straight wall. It's not even Wisner.
Yeah, but you got to scheme something. You got to figure something out. This is Texas.
I agree.
Like, y'all were making a run last year. You're telling me with all that money, all those resources, and all that recruiting, you guys just fell off a cliff? You're telling me Arch Manning looked good? And some points last year when he came in and just fell off a cliff and got worse through the offseason. It's a collective. I know Arch Manning is bad, but this is a collective effort of just atrocity. And I'm looking right
I
at
agree.
Sark. This is on him. We'll move on for the second time. Last game we're going to recap on, which I don't think we'll spend too much time. I think this is just going to be a good laugh.
We're
Penn
going to spend
State.
time.
Yeah.
Penn
That's some time.
Oh
State
yeah.
knitting the Lions. I don't honestly. It's too much respect to call them the Lions, bro. They're more like the Bearcats or something, bro. Like this team is terrible, man. Like we said it since the start. I mean, I alluded to it. I don't trust that coach. I don't trust that quarterback. And last week it was Drew Aller. This week, coach just didn't have his team ready to play, and it showed.
Nope.
Kai, let's hear your thoughts.
I'm gonna start with the good first. Nico is hooping. Nico is hooping. I gotta give it to him. That if like that Nico, yeah, that's the one we've been waiting to see. He was hooping. I mean, he looked like the 5-star we expected. I mean, dude looked like Cam Newton out there running the football. I mean, they were scared to tackle him. Like they were scared to tackle him. It gets so bad they started just falling at his feet. Like they just scared to hit him at some point. Nico was hooping. The way he ran the football, great decision making. If it wasn't there, he just tuck it and go. All right, let's just get right into it. Penn State, what are we doing? What are we doing? Jim Knowles, there's a reason why you're not at Ohio State, and that game is a good example of it. Dude, they kept running man coverage with no spy. Like, literally, Nico would see the first read, the second read wasn't there, and he just took off. Because he knew there's no spy there. And you didn't make no adjustment all game to adding a spy. It made no sense. It made 0 sense. And that's the stuff with Jim Knowles that he used to do at Ohio State, where he makes no adjustment. No adjustment. It took Ryan Day after they had lost to who did they lose to? They lost to Oregon to say, hey man, let's start making adjustments. Let's start playing more zone. Let's start, adding QB spies, making adjustments in games, and then we finally got an Natty. But this is stuff with Jim Knowles. The reason why he's not at Ohio State anymore. It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable. There's no reason you should get out coached by a 33-year-old who was just coaching tight ends last week. That's just unacceptable. That's unacceptable. That's just terrible. And not to mention Penn State, just the whole defense was just awful. Offensively, Drew Aller, I got to give you your props. I don't know how you put up 37 with the way those receivers played, the tight ends played, the offensive line played. I mean, this is probably the only time you ever see me give Drew Aller flowers because he's the only one that did anything worth a crap on the offense this past game. He was the leading rusher. He did solidly throwing the football when receivers actually got open. Like I can't really say too much on Drew Aller, but James Franklin, it might be time to go. Jim Knowles, it's time to go, and it's just bad. It's bad all around. And Penn State, you still got Ohio State to play in Indiana, so we'll be seeing you in Cancun in January, buddy.
Let me start with UCLA as well. To go from 0-4, losing your staff, the vibes are bad all around. You know how LA sports are. The vibes are bad. The vibes are bad all around. No one's coming to y'all games. Interim coach, and you win this game. Like this is big for that program. And as Makai said, Nico was balling out. I have 166 in the air, 100, almost 130 on the ground. That should never happen, ever.
Never.
Um, so we'll start there. I got to give props to UCLA. I'm happy for that program because this was probably a huge breath of fresh air after the first 4 weeks of their season. So props to them. Now I'll go to Penn State. Makai's point as well. Usually Drew Aller is the fault the fault man for this team. He actually played well. He balled out. 19 to 26, 200 yards. Was the leading rusher, 78 yards on the ground. He had a good day. But this is a bad loss. I don't think it gets much worse than this. This loss is by far worse than the Texas loss. Not even close. This is basically like a high school varsity team losing to a junior football team, with all due respect. But that's how bad it is. And now you're out of the rankings. I think James Franklin should have been gone years ago. That's just my opinion. As I said at the beginning of the podcast as well, that James Franklin should be fired. And it doesn't matter who else is out there, someone else has got to come in and coach this team. Because year after year, you can't win big games, no championships to show for, no national championship appearances. And we could argue that this program has had a top two or top three roster every season, and they just can't do it. So it's unfortunate. Props to UCLA.
Yeah, this team's slowly becoming the Dallas Cowboys of college football. When in doubt, just wait. Just wait. Uh, yeah, no, I expected Penn State to win this game. Uh, uh, I don't even have words. This defense let Nico run for 130 yards on them. Did whatever he pleased. This team had 0 wins. They've lost to terrible teams. No coaching staff. Just fired their whole coaching staff. They had a guy who was trying to figure out the headset for the first time. Literally, there's an interview on that how he didn't even know how to work a headset the right way. He's never had one on.
That's crazy.
And this team's lost to that. Yeah, James Franklin got to go. Thank goodness this is Drew Hours last season because I don't want to see him play again. Like if I'm an NFL scout, I'm staying away. I'm staying far away. He'll probably get drafted in the late round or picked up somehow, but like he's not doing anything. Okay, he played well, but this is a bad team. Let's not get this wrong. Okay, this is a bad team. Obviously, receivers didn't help. Run game didn't help, but this just shouldn't happen. This team's not good. So we talked about this for the past 5 weeks that Penn State was going to stink it up at some point. I thought it would be against Ohio State and Indiana because they usually lose those big games, but here we are. They lost to a team that was 0-4, and their season's over. Like I don't care what they do. Like they're not going to be Ohio State, and if somehow they beat Indiana, I'm still not putting them in. Like you cannot lose to an 0-4 team with no coaches. Tough. It's tough to be a Penn State fan, but y'all should have seen it coming. I'm not gonna lie. All right, we will move on. I believe, Jaden, you got your top 10 ready for us. Let's hear it.
Yes, I do. Back with the top 10, as usual. Y'all know the drill. Let's start from 10 and move up. At number 10, I have Georgia. This is a solid team. Obviously, we've talked about how they just cannot seem to beat Alabama, but they're still on the right track. They handled Kentucky just fine this past weekend. They'll continue to play very well, and I believe they'll be in the SEC championship game yet again against probably Alabama, to be honest with you. But I've got Georgia there at number 10. Number 9, I've got Texas Tech. This is the number one Big 12 team in that conference at the moment. They've just played really solid football all around. I think they'll be in the Big 12 championship easily. At number 8, I've got Alabama. What a turnaround. I have to really give props and flowers to DeBoer. I mean, he had so much hate on his name after week 1, losing to Florida State. But these guys have really turned it around, and Simpson has been balling out. He's been hooping. And I think he could actually move into a Heisman finalist if he keeps it up. But I got Alabama at 8. Number 7, I've got Indiana. Really looking forward to this game this weekend against Oregon. It's a great college game day matchup. We've got a lot of good games this weekend. But one thing I want to call out is D'Angelo Pons is back this weekend for Indiana. Couldn't come at a better time. could not come at a better time. So this is a must-have win for Indiana. It's a tough place to play in Autzen. This will be a great test to see how legitimate they really are. At number 6, I've got Ole Miss. I just thought Ole Miss was a little too high. Yes, that LSU win was huge. But other than that, they haven't played anyone really just yet. But I've got them at 6. This is a good football team. We've talked a lot about their QB. He has been very efficient for them. But they're going to put up a fight coming in the later weeks. They have some games on the schedule that are going to be tougher, but they need to fight for an SEC championship. That should be the goal for Kiffin this year. Not that it's not every year, but they've got to have it this year, and this is the year that they could potentially do it. Now, moving into top 5, at number 5, I've got Oklahoma. I put them above Ole Miss because they have just a couple more wins against better opponents, and they've looked just fine without Mateer. Obviously, he's probably their best player, arguably. But once he's back, this team will just continue to roll. We had a lot of questions about them coming into the year with their tough schedule, but they've looked the part so far. So gotta give credit where credit is due there. Moving to top 4, at number 4, I've got A&M. This team has looked solid all around. I really can't let go of that win that they had at Notre Dame. Yeah, it was in the last couple seconds down to the last drive, but that's really a huge statement win against a very, very good Notre Dame team and a tough place to play in South Bend. But this team has looked very efficient. Overall, offense looks very efficient. I'm just going to read some numbers here. First 3 games, they put up 42, 44, and 41. And then just beat Mississippi State and put up 31 on them. So offense has been very, very efficient, and defense has played well in parallel. Top 3, number 3, I've got Oregon. This football team is very good, very efficient. We don't need to say anything more about them. Dan Lanning is that guy. He's a very good coach. Excited for this game this weekend in Autzen for College Game Day versus Indiana. I think this will also be a high-scoring game. I think it's really about who can force a couple takeaways is going to win this game. If Dante Moore can take care of the football like he did at Penn State, I think Oregon will pull out a win. But overall, it's going to be a very physical football game. Up 2, number 2, I got Miami. We've been talking about them plenty the last couple weeks. Carson Beck has been hooping and slinging the ball really well. That offensive line and defensive line on both sides of the ball have looked very efficient. And shout out to Cristobal. He's really been putting together a good season from a coaching standpoint as well. We had questions about him coming into the year, if he'd win in some of those bigger games, but he's lived up to the part so far. And number 1, as you all know, is Ohio State. That's not going to change until they lose, but they just blew the doors off Minnesota this week. Wasn't even a contest. So we know about this team, super efficient. Ryan Day's done a great job, and that defense just is phenomenal with Patricia as the DC. This is an NFL level defense, easily. But they're number 1 for now. And yeah, Julian Sain hasn't really had to win games for them. He's a really good quarterback. I'll give him his flowers. He's very efficient, gets the ball out. Relax, Mackay. Relax, man. But he gets the ball out on time. He's always on schedule. Yes, he hasn't had to make any huge throws, but he's been really efficient. I've watched some of the tape, and I like what I've seen, especially that's someone that's a freshman, you might say, first year starting. He's looked really solid for them, and he'll continue to get better as the season goes along. But that is my top 10, fellas.
Yeah, I just want to say before I let Makai go, Ohio State's program, like you see the difference in developing a quarterback versus Penn State and Texas. Julian Sain has looked better after every single week. And Drew Aller, Arch, just on a slide. So Yeah, it just shows like coaching overall, but it shows like Ohio State, like they win championships. They're always in the mix because they actually develop their players the right way. It's not only about acquiring talent; it's how you develop them. But Kyle, I'll let you go.
Yeah, the list. I have no like critiques. Honestly, I think it's a perfect list. Um, yeah, I don't see anything that I would disagree with. A&M, love it. Georgia, love it. The only thing I might have disagreed with is you saying Georgia, Alabama, SEC championship. We'll see. I think A&M might have something to say about that. But yeah, I don't have any issues with the list. I thought it was a perfect list. You can argue, nitpick maybe Miami over Ohio State, but I mean, obviously, I'm taking Ohio State. But yeah, I don't think it's bad. This is a great list.
I just want to take a second because this is a moment for me when Makai has no arguments. So I'm going to take a second to enjoy this one. I appreciate it.
I'll let you have that second before I nitpick.
I knew it was coming, so just go ahead.
No, it's a really good list. You can argue this nitpick either way, honestly. Like we'll find out more about this team this week when they play Oregon on the road. But after what I've seen from Bama after that first loss, I want to put them over Indiana. They have two top 16 wins back to back. I know they lost against Florida State, but that just speaks to their strength and schedule. Indiana did beat Illinois, but obviously, like Ohio State being favored by 16 over Illinois at Illinois shows like they don't really respect Illinois as much as like UW was what an 8 point spread. Illinois is 15 and a half. Um, that's the only reason I'd probably put Bama over Indy, but Indy is undefeated and they do have one marquee win, but it's just nitpicking. I think the rest of the list is perfect.
I think this game this weekend, Indiana versus Oregon, is going to tell us a lot of things. So I'm
For
excited
sure.
for it.
For sure. All right. Well, without further ado, we'll jump right into those big matchups this week. This, like, before I get started, I'm just going to say, like, especially to some of my friends that I know they're, if you have any friends that plan weddings, birthday parties, bachelorette parties, whatever it may be, this weekend, they do not like you.
No,
They are not your friend.
they hate
Okay?
you.
You need to have a conversation and discuss priorities with these people because it's the weekend of October 11th. It's up with college football, and we got signature matchups all around, and we're gonna get into those right now. All right,
And
so week
overall,
7.
for all those people out there, for us, I'm speaking on behalf of us all. Don't hit us up this weekend. Don't call me. Don't ask for favors. If you need prayer, find someone else. Don't hit me up this weekend.
Talk to the Lord. Yeah, I second that, Jaden. Without further ado, we'll get into these week 7
I'm
matchups. We
done.
have Georgia going to the War Eagle, known as Auburn, and Georgia is a 3.5 point favorite on the road. Jaden, I'll let you start.
Yeah, I think overall, I think this game is that every game that we're going to cover here there's a lot of implications on each game. Um, I think overall for this one, it's really just going to come down to who can get stops. I know that sounds very cliche, but who can get stops and who can limit the other offensive team from being highly efficient. I think creating turnovers is going to be key in this matchup. So that's what I'm going to be looking for in this game. Um, Overall, I think both quarterbacks are highly efficient players. It's going to be an interesting challenge to see who can win the turnover battle is what I'd say overall for this game.
Gotta go ahead.
Yeah, this Auburn Georgia game, man. It's gonna be a really good game. Kind of like Jaden said, I had echoed. Like it's gonna be the team who can get stops, who can make the most plays. Um, Jackson Arnold has been pretty solid throughout this year. My only concern with Auburn coming into this game is their offensive line because we know it can be awful at times. That's been my concern. But I think Auburn gets one of these big games this year at home. Um, but this isn't the one. I like Georgia in this game. I think Georgia goes out, and this will be a very, very close game. I think Gunnar Stockton makes a couple plays, and they get out of Jordan Hare with a win. I like Georgia 24-20.
And I never give my
Yeah,
prediction, but I got Georgia winning. I got them winning 28-19.
yeah. We talked all season about teams coming out of bye weeks, and I just think this is a week for Georgia coming out of a bye where that just doesn't apply. They've had a week to sit on the Alabama loss, and then they watch Alabama go and smack Vandy too. And there's one coach that I really respect in college football, and that's Kirby Smart. I think he's gonna just let the dogs out this week against Auburn. I don't think this game's gonna be close at all. Um, I think Auburn will score maybe late touchdown to make it closer, but I think Georgia's going to win, and it's not going to be close. I was surprised by the 3.5. I guess it's on the road, but I think this Georgia team has something to prove, and I think Stockton is going to come out slinging in this matchup. I got Georgia winning this game 31-17. Makai, you were shaking your head. What's up?
Come on now, you know these SEC games are never blowouts. I just can't see it. Um,
Never?
unless you're Alabama, that's about it. Nick Saban's the only one that go in these games and slaughter the other SEC teams. But in
Nick
this
Saban
day and
is
age,
gone, first of all.
that's the point.
Second of all, okay, this is Georgia. They lost one game. You're just going to say, oh, they can't do that.
Oh, I think they can win the game. I think they win the game. I just think playing Jordan Hare is very difficult. And Hugh Freeze, this is a Hugh Freeze game. These are Hugh Freeze type game. Got him at home. Top 10 matchup. And Jackson Arnold can run the football. And you know Hugh Freeze, he works his magic in these type of games. I mean, he is licking his chops to try to win this one. I don't think he does it, but it is going to be
I see
hell.
both of these teams. I see both of these teams coming off a bye week, and I just think because Georgia had to sit on that loss versus Auburn, I just think Georgia's going to come out swinging, and it's going to be ugly. That's my opinion, but we will see. We'll move on for time's sake. We got number 15 Michigan traveling to USC, and the unranked USC is favored 2.5 points at home. Jay, let's hear your thoughts.
I think this will be another really good game. Jordan Mayabe's been balling this year. Only one turnover, only one interception. Um, Bryce has been a little underwhelming on the passing front, just a little bit. Only 3 passing touchdowns. Um, but he's still a really good player. They've been really efficient on the ground. Okay, just go ahead and talk, man. Make it all them faces. Go ahead, bro.
Those receivers have been awful, but go ahead. He's been very good in the passing game. Go ahead.
Hey, no discredit to him, but 3 passing touchdowns through what are we on now? Week 6, week 7? That's not a lot. So, but he's a great quarterback. I think it's always a tough game going into the Coliseum. They're gonna have to be very efficient on the ground again. I actually have USC winning this one though. I've got USC pulling off an upset at home against a very good Michigan team and a very good Michigan defense. But I like the offensive firepower that USC has. I think this will just have to be a shootout because USC cannot play defense for some reason in these big games. But I have USC winning. I've got USC taking this one away. Got them winning 37-34 off a field goal.
Yeah, if you want to see fireworks, I think this is going to be the game. I think has the potential of being the best game of the weekend. Number 15, Michigan at USC. By the way, USC should be ranked over Florida State, in my opinion. I still think this USC team is really good. And if you have not watched Makai Lemon, this is a game to watch him. If there wasn't a big 6'3", 235-pounder at Ohio State, he'd be the best receiver in the country. I mean, he is gross. But yeah, I as well like USC in this game. My only issue is that this Michigan team isn't their defense is solid. It's good, but I don't think it's good enough to stifle this USC offense that is really high powered. And these games for Michigan are typically they want to try to make it a street fight, and I'm concerned that they're not going to be able to do that in this game. So with that being said, I like USC. My only concern is their defense, like Jaden alluded to. But I like USC as well, 38-28.
Yeah, I really don't know where to go with this game, to be honest. Like everything in my body's telling me to take Michigan, but I think I'm going to take USC and I'm going to go with the under on this. That 2.5 is just, it's 2.5. Like, what are we doing? Like Vegas, make a decision. But USC is a really good team. They have a great quarterback. Michigan's defense is not the standard of usual. They do have their coach back after last week. It's just what's really troubling me about this game is that loss to Illinois. I get it; it was on the road, but Illinois just got destroyed by Indiana, and then this USC team loses to that Illinois team the week after, and then on top of that, they're coming off a bye, and that is why I want to take Michigan, but. Michigan's quarterback is a true freshman, and go on the road playing on the West Coast is not easy to do. So I think I'm going to take USC, and I think this game is going to be really close. I got Michigan losing this game 31-30 in a hard fought game. All right, we will move on. We got number 8, Alabama, going to number 14, Missouri. It just seems like Alabama has a tough ranked opponent every week. But that is the life of an SEC team. So Alabama is favored 3 points straight up. Jaden, let's hear your thoughts.
Yep, got another great game in the zoo. Uh, Overall, the quarterback play, we've mentioned Simpson a couple times. He's looked really sharp. Pribula has 3 picks on the year. Kind of high for his touchdown amount, only 9 passing touchdowns to 3 picks. This is another team that runs the ball very well. Their running back Hardy, already nine rushing touchdowns this season, and 730 yards through 5 games. He's been feasting on the ground. That's going to be a problem for Alabama, at least in this game. But I just don't think it'll be enough. I've got Alabama coming in and winning a very close, hard-fought game against a very good Missouri team. And surprisingly, their defense has been very good this year. Didn't really see that coming going into the year. But this is no slouch of a team. So, but I do have Alabama pulling this one off. I think it'll be a close first half, and then they'll start to run away with it towards the end of the game. But I've got Alabama winning this one 35-30.
Yeah. Yeah, Alabama seems like they're playing a ranked matchup every single week. They got Tennessee next week, but focused on this matchup, I really want to take Bama. My biggest concern with them is this Bama team can struggle to stop the run, and Missouri can run the football with arguably he's looked like the best back in the country, and Ahmed Hardy. And that scares me. That concerns me. Even if you look at the games, the last two games that Alabama won, they struggled to stop the run against Vanderbilt at times, struggled to stop the run against Georgia at times. I mean, Georgia, I think, ran for almost 200 yards. Um, but that does concern me. That does concern me with Alabama. But I'm gonna trust. I'm gonna lean into what DeBoer is building over there right now. They're just playing really good football on offense, man. Ty Simpson, like he's a dude. He's a dude looking like a real Heisman Trophy candidate this year. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than some people may think. But I like Alabama by a point. I think they pull it out and win 27-20 or 28-27. Excuse me.
Yeah, I love what I'm seeing from this Alabama team, and like it makes me emotional a little bit because being a Husky fan, we had DeBoer and Ryan Grubb over here in the West Coast. I love what this offense has looked like since that Week 1 loss. I think Ty Simpson is the Heisman favorite right now, and I think he's going to continue to build his case in this game. They have a plethora of weapons at receiver, and Ryan Grubb he just knows how to scheme people open, whether it's zone or man. He's really good at his job. And I'll just say, watching Geno Smith this year shows that Ryan Grubb was not the problem last year in Seattle. Um, yeah, no,
Amen.
I think Alabama's going to win. I think Alabama's going to win this game. I think it will be close because Missouri can play good offense and they can run the ball. But I just think these receivers, the weapons, the play calling, and Ty Simpson, how he galvanizes his team. You see him on the sideline, like he's electric. His personality, he's brought this team together since that Week 1 loss, and I think he's gonna keep it rolling. I got Bama winning this game 37-31 in a high scoring affair. All right. We got the Red River Showdown. We got Arch Manning and his Texas Longhorns playing against the number 6 team in the country, the Oklahoma Sooners. Texas is somehow favored in this game. Somehow, some way, after watching this offense play for 5, 6 weeks, whatever it is, Texas is somehow favored in this game. I don't care if John Mateer is on the field, if he's in Canada, Australia, whatever it is, somehow Texas is favored against this Oklahoma team. And it just doesn't make sense. They are favored 2.5 points. I'll let Jaden start. That's just crazy to me.
Yeah, forget that, man. Forget it. Um, I literally looking at it here. You've got your quarterback leading in passing and rushing. Yeah, this game's over. Oklahoma's winning this game. I don't think it's close. This is a very popular football game, middle of the year, the Red River Showdown. It ain't gonna be no showdown. This is gonna be the Red River belting. Oklahoma's gonna win this game at least by 2 possessions. Um, I just think that defense is gonna be too much for Arch. Um, and so I've got Oklahoma winning this game. I think it's gonna be 42 to 30. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna say 42 to 28.
Where Texas scoring 28?
When the backups are in,
Are you being nice, brother? Last year, Texas beat this Oklahoma team 34-3. 34-3 is what happened last year. I'm sure OU has been ready to play this game for a whole year. Texas looks awful, by the way. Looks awful. 2.5. I don't know. If you're a betting person, please take the Oklahoma money line immediately because there's just no way they lose this game. Like you said, Arch is their leading passer, leading rusher. Heck, he's probably their leading dishwasher too. Um, he's been awful, been terrible. Yeah, y'all hilarious, dog. But yeah,
That's you,
I
man.
like
That's you.
I like Texas. I mean, not Texas. God no. I like Oklahoma big in this game. Yeah, it's gonna be belt, and it's gonna be a lot of leather going out this game. I like Oklahoma 31-10. 31-10. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a 3 possession game. Come on.
This brother's in leather, dog. You're stupid.
But yeah, 31-10 OU. It's not gonna be close. But yeah.
um, yeah, we're on the same page. There ain't much to be said. This Oklahoma Sooners defense is legit. It don't care. It don't matter who's playing quarterback in this matchup. This Texas offense has issues, and it's not just Arch. Obviously, I'm not taking blame away from him. He is terrible. He's played terrible. If I'm Peyton and Eli, I'm calling for the name on his back to be removed. Like it's horrific. But the running backs, they can't run the ball. Offensive line, they can't run block. They can't pass block. And Sark doesn't even know what to call. And like I said this week one against Ohio State, like his play calling looked so high school, like basic level play calling. And that just hasn't changed. And even so, Art still can't read a defense to save his life. And now he's going to go against Venables' defense. Yeah, it's gonna be bad. Wrap this up real quick. I got Oklahoma winning this game. I'm gonna say 31-14. Oklahoma's gonna win this game. All right, last game of the night. We got a great top 10 matchup. We got Indiana, number 17 in the country, going to Austin, Eugene. There's nothing really good out there, but football, to be honest. Number 3, Oregon Ducks, and Nike. That's in Beaverton. So, anyways,
6-7.
Oregon is favored 7 points at home. I think the spread is pretty fair after what Oregon did on the road at Penn State in a whiteout setting. I'm gonna let Jaden start.
As mentioned a couple times now, I'm very excited for this game. Um, Kind of gives me similar thoughts, I would say, as last year's game when College Game Day was in Eugene, when Ohio State went to Austin. Um, I think it'll be similar as far as expectation, fireworks. Um, but I don't think Indiana's going to pull this one off. I've got Oregon winning this game. It's just this place is tough to play in, y'all. Like this is a tough place to play. It's loud in there. They bring it every time there's a big game. And then let's talk about the players itself. Moore's been balling at the QB position. I mean, look at these numbers: 100 out of 134 passing on the year, 14 tuds, 1 pick. Like it just doesn't get much better than that, especially against opponents they played. Um, on the ground, though, Indiana's a little bit better on the ground game. Receiving as well, I think Indiana has a little bit of an edge there. But I just like Oregon's defense more so than Indiana's. As I did mention, Pons will be back for Indiana this week, but I just don't think it'll be enough. Oregon got athletes everywhere in the field, but this will be a close game and a very, very good offensive performance on both sides. You've got Mendoza on the other side too. Like he can sling it as well. So I just don't think Indiana will pull off the big road win. I've got Oregon winning this game, somewhat high scoring. I've got Oregon winning though, 31 to 29.
Man, Oregon, Indiana. This is gonna be a very very interesting game. Um, I feel like this game is going one or two ways. Um, I think it can be a blowout win by Oregon, or we're gonna get a really really close game, and Indiana could potentially steal it. I feel like Indiana just needs to have a good showing. I think they can go out and lose this game, knowing they still got Penn State on the schedule. Um, if you're Oregon, um, you got to get this one. You got to get this one at home against a tough opponent like Indiana. Um, build off of that big win you had at Penn State, and I think they do. I think they do. Dante Moore has just been terrific. DeCorin Moore, arguably the best freshman in the country. Um, what's his name? Sadiq. Dude is a freak tight end they have at Oregon, and just the amount of talent they have on that defense as well. I think they make a couple plays, and I think they win by 2 possessions. I think they have a final touchdown at the end that kind of extends it. But I think Indiana plays with this team for the majority of this game because Indiana just does have a lot of talent. I love the talent they have on the outside with Elijah Surratt. Um, but with that being said, I like Oregon in this game, 38-27.
Yeah, I'm just gonna clarify myself before I start on this game. I can't stand Oregon. I'm a hater. Just gotta put that out there. Uh, it's unfortunate that they're this good, and like they're good. But I can't. Like I'm a realist, but like I just can't stand this team. Yeah, it's going to be tough for Indiana. They haven't seen a defense this fast. They got weapons all around. This kind of makes me think of that UW Oregon matchup from a few years back. But the difference is Oregon's defense doesn't have holes like they did against Michael Penix. Dante Moore, he can sling it. Mendoza can sling it. I think it's going to be a high scoring affair. And Austin is a really tough place to play. Um, yeah, so I got to roll with the home team on this one. Unfortunately, I will be praying on their downfall, but I can't see Oregon losing this game because if you look at their schedule, they got nothing after this other than USC and UW, which they will be favored in both of those games and the rest of their schedule. Dan Lanning's a great coach. He's going to have them ready to play. They're coming off a bye week as well, so. Yeah, I think Oregon wins this game. I think Indiana will keep it close because they are a solid team with a solid coach. But I got Oregon winning this game 35-31 at home. All right, we are out of time for the night. We're gonna wrap it up. I appreciate you guys joining us for another week of college football with Magniball Podcast, and we are signing out. Please like and subscribe to the video.